Greetings, model maniacs! This is Panzerman Bill of Panzerman's Bunker, coming to you with a conclusion of On the Bench Panzer IV F1. Ooh, with a crew on it. Ooh. Alright, guys. First up, got a question for the community. Next project, Japanese recovery tank or a Japanese jungle cutter tank. This thing had a huge blade, was meant to cut roads and pathways through the jungle with that big dozer looking blade on the front. I don't know. Recovery tank or jungle cutter? Yeah, Bill, that jungle cutter looks pretty wild. It's a kind of phallic thing there. It's got quite the Kanaka Schnickenwacker. I get stiff just looking at it. Y'all. Oh. Alright, guys. The Panzer IV. Here I am putting the decals on it. And also I did do a camouflage following that color profile. Dark green, extra dark German green all over it. Had nice decals. Had that cool little devil's head up on the turret. Here I am doing some weathering to the camouflage. I lightened it up on the upper surfaces and I left it dark on the downward surfaces and the sides. Give it a little more of a weathered appearance. Working on the tank tools that came with the kit. I used pretty much all the tank tools that came with the kit. Didn't have to go to any spares, but I did have to on the thing that cleans the barrel out. I had to make a bigger swab on the end of it because the one they had on it was a kind of anemic looking. And I went with a different jack block set up here, and I'll show you on the tank. Oh, different project. Alright, here she is, getting weathered up some. Doing my patented, after I do my dark wash and my highlights and doing some scratching, I go in with a filter. In this case, like a really light brown dirt filter over the whole tank to even everything out. Gives it a real nice weathered appearance, real heavy on the tracks with the filter and along the bottom of the running gear, road wheels and then crevices. Gives a real road weary look to it. And there it is with the crew on it. It's starting to get the finishing touches on it. So put all the tools on it and everything. Just looking how the crew look, but instead of looking at a picture, let's look at the real thing. There she is, folks. Pull back and let it focus in. I'm very happy with how she turned out. The weathering really helped out on it. Evened everything out. Love that crew, that ICM crew. I actually put like a map and binoculars for the commander, and the one guy on the side's got his MP40 ready. The only bad thing about this guy's pose right here, the hand was like hovering above that deck one on his left arm, so I slid like a water bottle under it, like he was drinking some water, and just rested his hand on it, so it didn't look so weird. Looked like he had his hand just like this, like that, hovering like that, and it's an unnatural pose. It looks unnatural, so I put something under it. There's that cool little devil symbol. The devil, the Teufel. In German it's called the Teufel. Teufel head, Teufel Knopf. Oh, there's that jack block. Since they wanted you to wrap this Balkan cross over top this vision port, I figured that the crew didn't want to take any chances of having this, hey, this is our friendly tanker, we want to get shot. So instead of having it wrapped around there, I removed where the engine block should be mounted and made a makeshift one up here for it so that they could put the Balkan cross nice and visible on the side like a field modification. So I'm sure somewhere in the hundreds of Panzer IVs they had, that some crew did that. Also with this one, they used laying around spare T-34 tracks, since this is on the eastern front. Used them as extra armor, give them some extra protection on the front of the classics, along with the other extra tracks laying here. But I've seen actual photographs where the German crews did do that. They used the T-34 tracks as extra armor. I'm happy with how the tools turned out. Even got the antenna laying in its trough. Spare road wheels back here. Everything turned out real well. I was waiting for some tow cables to come in. I ordered some tow cables. And I'm going to show you something here. Here's a freaking pet peeve of mine. I paid a lot of money for these freaking tow cables. Alright, this company Karaya. Nice looking wire, nice looking big tow cables, but you just seen it. They give you the small diameter tow wire for like the how they would put the tracks back on. They would use a smaller tow cable, but they had them on the port block. They left them on the port block, so they're all snapped off at the head. See, there's one right there floating around. Totally useless now. There's one right there, snapped off. See it? Right there, snapped off now. What idiots package a little fragile eyelet still left under the resin port block so it can get snapped off just by anybody handling it. So I'm going to have to get a hold of these people. Actually, this is a third. So I'm screwed. I'm going to have to get a hold of this. Was bought on Evilbay. It's not like I could call up the company and say, hey, I bought this and this shit snapped off. So why the hell would they do that? They took the big block, they took the big eyelets off the port blocks. They should have taken the small ones off. Both sets have the same freaking problem. This one's turned, it's not even open. The package is not open, it's turned over. Of course the thing's snapped off. The two smaller ones are snapped off. Yeah, there it is. Floating around the back, snapped off. Pisses me off. Pay good money for crap now. Oh well. I'm sure it's not the first time a company's shitting your cornflakes. End on a good note, Bill. Get back to the tank. Don't give a shit what happened to them tow things. You'll work something out. I'm really happy with how she turned out, fellas. I will cop the one thing, though. I'm going to have to replace it. These old 25-year-old model, I was weathering it, and this track here just snapped. It broke. There is a repair right up in there. I had to use thread. It's visible. If this went to a show, they would see it easily. They'd see that thread wrapped around the track. So I'm going to have to come up with a replacement for this track here, but that's a way if you're not really caring about shows and you just want something on your shelf and the track breaks, you can use thread to sew the track back together and try and hide it up under a fender or something. That pissed me off too. You keep getting pissed off, Bill. You can't blame it. It's a 25-year-old track. Well, I'm not going to let that upset me. I like how she turned out. Camouflage makes her look unusual. Love that double head. Little Teufelknopf. Teufelknopf. Teufelkampf. Something like that. Alright. There she is, all done. Now I can get on the next project. Till next time, Panzerman Bill, Panzerman's Bunker saying, Auf Wiedersehen, mein Damen und Herren. Stay tuned for the boys. They were going crazy with a squeaky toy. They're quiet now, but I'll add that little video to the end here. Stop sucking on his ears, Fang. He's going to get an ear infection. Don't suck on his ears. Talon, don't let him suck on your ears. Stupid dog. I love him. Alright, guys, keep building, keep having fun. Panzerman out. You guys want to go mad? Give a bulldog a squeaky toy. Squeaky, squeaky. Fang. What you got, Fang? You got a squeaky toy? Squeaky, squeaky. Fang, give me that. Give me that squeaky toy. Give me that squeaky toy. What you got, Fang? Drive you up a wall listening to squeaky, squeaky, squeaky all the time. Alright, Talon, he's got that squeaky toy. Fang. Fang, give me that squeaky toy. Give me a Fang. Serious, this will test your sanity. Squeaky, squeaky. Alright, guys, let's see the puppies tormenting their owner with that freaking squeaky toy. Alright, keep building, keep having fun. Panzer Man out.